The holiday season might be over, but the spirit of giving is the theme of this new Hearthstone expansion. Before we get this started, I want to give a huge shout out to Blizzard for allowing me to check out some of the new cards coming up from this new expansion. And to also check out the draft of what is to come, so that way I can show you guys the brand new expansion, WHIZBANG'S Workshop. And this is the draft, so make sure that you guys check out the post that is live right now. A link will be in the description, so that way you guys can see everything that is coming from this new expansion called WHIZBANG'S Workshop. But the theme of this expansion is exactly as it sounds. We're going to have toys, we're going to have gifts, and we're going to have some magic things to go over. But the big question that's on everybody's mind right now, what are the cards that are coming to this expansion? But the official drop date of WHIZBANG'S Workshop is going to be on March 19th with 145 new cards. You can find the WHIZBANG'S Workshop reveal schedule and all the cards that have already been revealed by visiting the official card library. So we're going to get some creative reveals. We're going to have a whole month of building up the hype for this expansion. So if you're someone that doesn't necessarily like playing Hearthstone right now, you can still get hype for this new expansion by checking out these new cards. And instead of focusing on this current meta, you can focus on the future meta, because now that we have the core cards that have been announced, we know most of the cards that are going to be playable in this new set, or I should say this new rotation. So once we have the new set, we'll be able to make the decks immediately. And the way the Hearthstone expansions usually have been revealed in recent expansions is that we reveal classes at a time. So you're going to have all of the tools pretty much available to you once the reveal season starts. But as you can see by this little hint in the corner that I have left here, there is a new keyword that is also coming to this expansion, and it is called miniaturize. And honestly, the thing that I love the most about Hearthstone keywords is that the keywords do almost exactly what it sounds like. So miniaturize means that you play a minion and then you get a smaller copy of the minion added to your hand. Think of it like Twin Spell for minions, but instead you get a smaller version of it. It's like you get the big boy and then you get the little itty bitty baby. So it's like Pokemon evolutions to a degree. But some of WHIZBANG'S creations have come with their own fun-sized copy. Whenever you play a card with miniaturize, you get a 1 mana 1/1 copy added to your hand. Play the mini version right away for tempo, or save it for cheap, powerful effects when the time is just right. So we have this new Drake that has been added into the WHIZBANG set, a new Druid card, 4 mana 2/4 dragon, miniaturize. Choose one. Gain +1 spell damage or draw a spell. We've got a little Malagos combo here, guys. This is new mini Malagos for Druid, because we didn't get Malagos in the core set, so now we have actual spell damage being given specifically to Druid. So I wonder what other cards Druid's gonna get. Maybe something for like OTK spell damage, maybe a new 0 mana Druid card that deals damage. Whatever is going to happen, we have a lot of cool miniaturized cards that are going to be coming out, but the question is, how impactful is this keyword going to be to Hearthstone? But speaking of adding powerful cards to Hearthstone, we're throwing back to some iconic characters, because now that Hearthstone has had 10 years of history, what better way to celebrate than to make old faces into new powerful threats, such as Inventor Boom, Wind-Up Musician, and Incredible Value. These are all iconic cards in their own way for different reasons. Case in point, Incredible Value is literally, I believe, a Crip reference, because when the 4 mana 7/7 was originally created, everyone said that it was incredible value for the cost. So for 3 mana, you get to discover a 4-cost minion, and then you get to set its attack and health to 7. Shadow Spell, not really sure if that's going to play a role into how important that is in Shaman. But we also have Inventor Boom. Obviously, Dr. Boom is a very iconic card. They did just rotate him out of the core set. So unfortunately, in Standard, we're not going to have any like Boom-centered decks. But Inventor Boom is still an extremely powerful card as an 8 mana 7/7. Battlecry, resurrect 2 friendly mechs that cost 5 or more. They immediately attack random enemies. Keyword random enemies. If there is nothing on the field, you get to resurrect 2 mechs and they can just go right to the face. So Inventor Boom is still carrying that classic feeling of Dr. Boom, with the boom bots being able to deal immediate damage if you are having to kill them one way or another. And then Wind-Up Musician, I'm not really sure what this is a reference to. I can't remember all of the monkeys, but this is kind of reminding me of Banana Vendor to a degree, at least in terms of his outfit. But he is a 6 mana tradable 5/5 minion. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemies, to all enemy minions, trade to upgrade. So think of it this way: every single time you trade the card, you wind up the toy. So So you trade it, it deals 2. You trade again, it deals 3, and etc, etc. This might become a pretty useful card, but the thing I don't particularly like about this card in theory is that you have to get the value out of the tradable. It's just not good by itself. So it's like, it really is a 7 mana 5/5 deal 2 damage, and 8 mana 5/5 deal 3 damage. And when you really think about that, maybe the extra mana is not going to be too ridiculous, but I think it's going to be a little bit bonkers. But what's going to be absolutely bonkers is the new ZILLIAX Deluxe 3000. Again, we have rotated out another card, but we are adding in a brand new version in the deck. And this is probably going to be the most hype announcement out of this teaser that we have been given by Blizzard, because we still have a lot of stuff that is going to be revealed as the month continues. But this is probably one of the spiciest cards that they have made in recent years due to how customizable that you can make this card. The ZILLIAX Deluxe 3000 is something that you can make your own minion, essentially. Can't find the exact card you're looking for? Why don't you just build your own ZILLIAX? ZILLIAX 3000 Deluxe is fully customizable. While building your deck, choose 2 ZILLIAX modules to combine their costs, stats, and effects into the perfect ZILLIAX. Then finish your ZILLIAX off with your choice of cosmetic finishes. So how exactly do you build your own ZILLIAX? The way that it works is that while you're building your deck, you get to choose 2 pieces to add to your ZILLIAX. So you have the recursive module, the Hayward module, the pylon module, virus, twin, ticking, perfect, and the power module. Out of all of these cards, you get to choose 2 of them. Very similar to adding cards into your ETC band manager, but this way you get to make the perfect minion that can, the greatest thing about this card is that you can literally customize it for any deck. Do you want to have a card that helps make your minions a little bit more threatening? You have your minions have +1/+1. So just to go in order, you have Death Rattle, shuffle this into your deck for 1 mana. That's pretty powerful. Imagine this in Death Knight with like Death Growl, for example. You have Haywire module, 2 mana 4/4. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to your hero. So you're essentially making an aggressive tool, but having the stats to back it up. So maybe you do this in order to like take advantage of the perfect module, which is literally just basic ZILLIAX with lifesteal, taunt, divine shield, and rush. So you know you have the perfect ZILLIAX that can be a 7 mana 7/6. And then you don't really care about dealing 3 damage to your hero because you would have lifesteal, so you would essentially be dealing 0 damage to yourself. Then there's the virus module, where you have stealth, can't be targeted by spells and hero powers. That's what elusive means. Poisonous and reborn. So for 3 mana, adding these 2 together could be a very spicy combo, because then you have the reborn bringing it back. And that actually begs the question, since these cards combine, if these have Reborn, then this means it will come back as an 8 mana 4/1 because of how the Reborn work, but it also has lifesteal. So already you're starting to see how the combining of these modules is very important. It just depends on exactly what your deck is trying to do, and you want to make the legendary support the deck in the best way possible. To where maybe if there's a way of abusing Shudderwalk, because we have the possibility of getting Shudderwalk off of Hearthstone Brew, but 4 mana 3/3, summon a copy of this. Pretty basic effect there. 4 mana 1/3, costs 1 less for each minion in play. Again, very aggressive. So ticking module and pylon module already have some ridiculous synergies there. If you have 6 minions, then you essentially can give your entire field +1/+1 for 1 mana. Then we already talked about perfect module, and then we have power module. At the start of your turn, double this minion's attack. Oh my god, wait a minute. Power module and virus module. It has stealth and reborn, and it gets to double at the start of your turn. Wait a minute, dude. This in Paladin could be like really good if you have Deputization Aura, to where when you play this after you play Deputization Aura for you have this minion for 5 mana, then it becomes a 5/6. And then on the start of your next turn, it already is a 10/6. So that's ridiculous right off the bat. So there are some ideas on how you can create the perfect ZILLIAX depending on what exactly your deck is going for. And this isn't even covering everything. We still have a login reward with a card called Caulifero? Cauliflower. I'm gonna call this cauliflower. Cauliflower the artist, because I have no idea what this is. Picture this. All you need to do now is to log in and you'll get the legendary minion, Cauliflower the artist. Cauliflower is one of those few talented artist cards in WHIZBANG'S workshop, all of whom have a special effect based on the card that they draw. Cauliflower has a special talent for capturing your drawn card's likeness and conveying them to your minions in play. What will your masterpiece be? So Cauliflower is an 8-mana 6/5 elemental battlecry minion. Draw a minion, transform all friendly minions into copies of it. Imagine this with Automaton. If Automaton is going to stay in standard, I'm gonna have to remember this. There's a lot of cards rotating out, but imagine this with like Elwyn Boar in Wild. It's sad that we don't have Elwyn Boar in standard, but maybe there's a way of getting it randomly. You know, like, it would be really funny to somehow utilize a card like Elwyn Boar or Mogu Cultist or Automaton, just anything that thrives off of having extra copies. Maybe a Pogo Hopper if you're a Wild player. Like, there's lots of ways this card could be useful, but maybe there's another way of utilizing this with like Bovine in Hunter, for example. You make all of your minions into Bovines. You can then play like Bestial Madness, so that way every single time your Bovine, that you play a Bovine, it will spawn as a 4/3, immediately summoning another copy when it dies. So there's some potential for this card. It's probably a little bit goofy, probably a bit gimmicky, maybe not like a tier 1, rank 1 legend type of gimmick, but this is still a fun idea. And just imagine the idea of just, I don't know, before the rotation happens, getting a bunch of Colossal minions. I don't know. It's just a really goofy card, and we can actually utilize this before the rotation actually goes into effect. So I believe that we have a lot of cool stuff that is happening here, but go ahead and log in after the announcement has been made, pretty much when this video goes live, and you'll be able to get a free legendary card. But that's not all. WHIZBANG has one more special surprise for you. Every WHIZBANG'S Workshop pre-purchase bundle comes with 2 copies of Corridor Sleeper, an early access epic card from WHIZBANG'S Workshop. So not only are we getting a legendary minion, we are getting another early access card. Corridor Sleeper starts dormant as a 1-mana 3/5. After 7 minions die, awaken. So we're not going to sleep on this card, right? We're going to understand that if you just play this on turn 1 as an aggro deck, like imagine this in Death Knight with mining casualties, for example, this is just a stat bomb immediately. I'm kind of sad it doesn't have Rush, but I feel like if it had Rush, it would be a little bit crazy. But WHIZBANG'S Workshop Mega Bundle includes 80 WHIZBANG Workshop card packs, 10 golden packs, 1 random signature legendary from the WHIZBANG Workshop expansion, 1 random golden legendary, patches, the pirate rogue. Oh my god. So there he is right there. It's kind of hard to see him, but when you pull up the announcement, you'll be able to see this stuff in real time. What is going on with this right here? They rotated out King Crush. Keep this in mind. They rotated out King Crush. Is this going to be a new card? I don't know. Go ahead and give me your theories on what you think is going to be happening. But I believe that is everything that is coming from this expansion. Make sure to check out the announcement yourself. But there's a lot of hype, and there's going to be a lot of news that is going to be coming this next month. So if you like these kind of videos, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that way you can tell me that you want more news from Clark HELLSCREAM, so that way I can give you my immediate ideas. Because I believe I've already broken ZILLIAX to a degree. Like, I'm already, you know, applying meta knowledge, and I already have like a Paladin potential deck that I am thinking about. Just really need to see the Paladin cards to where I think I'm gonna break the meta as soon as I have access to these cards. But guys, seriously, if you want to support the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on what you're excited for from this expansion, and let's have a dialogue talking about the coolest expansion that we've had in quite some time, because there's just so much hype, there's so much flavor being put into this expansion, and let's be honest, the cards look kick-ass as hell. So thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and we'll see you for the next one.